Hello and welcome to Veggie Patch Ideas. It's all about peppers today, and we're going to show you how to get the very best out of your peppers. So if you haven't started yet, then we're on the last legs of trying. So you want to get a seed tray like this, put 1 or 2 seeds per cell, cover them over, and then give it a water and keep it warm. The key is to start these off. They need a temperature range of around 18 to 22 degrees. So take it home with you, put it in your living room until you see the seedlings emerge from the tray, and then you know it's ready to move on. At that point, we would then lower the temperature and increase the wind or the breeze over them. So in a polytunnel like this is absolutely perfect, or a greenhouse, and these will then romp away. Now, with the seedlings, and especially at this stage, so now we get them to this sort of stage, there are some things you have to take into considerations. The peppers, they can dry out and they will look a bit disheveled if they do dry out, but as soon as you water them, they will pep up. What the peppers do not like and absolutely hate is sitting in water. So don't water them and overwater them so they're actually sitting in a tray being drenched. So they won't like that one bit, and they'll possibly rot out. So always let them dry right down and then water them again. Now when we're potting these on into bigger pots, you can treat these exactly the same as tomatoes. And what I mean by that is you can plant them, and say if I'm going from this sort of size pot onto a bigger one, I would go in about 1 centimetre of a stem and bury it over. These stems are very fibrous and they will produce roots out the side of the stem. So in this case, where the stem is brown, don't go into green, I'll plant them deeper so it covers the brown bit. The roots will come out and it'll anchor that plant, and the more roots it can put out, the more nutrients it can take up, and the better the plant will be. So at that stage, fine, it will soak all the nutrients up, and then I will give it a liquid seaweed feed. Okay, the liquid seaweed generally puts on the plants green, so the green leaves, the foliage, and that's what I want. I want this to leaf up, loads of foliage on it, and then once I pot it on again, I'll pot it on to the 2 first leaves, so I'll plant it very, very deep, and then I'll switch the fertilizer to say a tomato feed, where it will then produce its flowers, and then it'll go on to fruit. So what we'll do, we'll take our pot, and if you watched the video I put out last about potting on, you really should. This is 50% larger than one of these cells. See how dry it is? That's how we want it. And we want to bury it just up into the brown. So now the best way to avoid overwatering is to put it in a pot like this, or one of these bags, anything with holes in the bottom really, and then put it onto a bench. So when you water it, the water goes straight through and it doesn't sit and puddle up, or into one of these trays where the water will go evenly over, but it won't sit in water, it'll just go straight through. By doing it that way, I know once it's watered, it'll have the water, what it needs, but it'll go straight through, so I can just continuously keep watering it and it won't stay soggy. Now once this grows into a larger seedling, so up here let's say, and you're seeing roots coming out the bottom, you'll know this is ready to be planted on again. So the final destination will be into the soil, into a greenhouse possibly, or a polytunnel. That's where I'm going to grow these. Again, plant it up until the first 2 leaves, and give them room to grow. These get into big plants, so give them 18 to 24 inches apart to each one. The more room you can give them, the heavier it'll fruit and the more bountiful harvest you'll get. And you will, nothing tastes like a homegrown pepper. They're absolutely beautiful. So all the best with your peppers, and I hope you can apply some of these tips and tricks to have a great harvest.